In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because we're all of us mostly from the same generation. We happen to think that it's the best one, not because we're better than you, but our movies certainly were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth that Hollywood gives us on a daily basis. So also on Best Gen, we're never late. And starting the show 5 minutes late is better than last week, which was 10. Okay, look, if not all of my guests have shown up, I'll give them a little bit of time. At 10 after 7, I start the show usually. Yeah, never been late my entire life. So. Mark Clark's in the chat, already upset at me. It's okay. It's okay. I can handle it. Oh, good. That worked. I'm a multi-streamer now. We're streaming on YouTube and on X and on Rumble because I want Rumble to succeed.
What about Twitch? You don't care about Twitch?
Twitch is gay. So I have a Twitch. I created one. At one point. I've never used it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'll have to see if these chats work, but we're testing stuff out. We're hedging our bets. We're putting all of our eggs in 3 baskets, you know?
There you go.
So, also, I randomly got just a new subscriber on Rumble, and I was like, oh, I should probably care more about that.
Yeah, I posted another video this week, about 50 views, so that's something.
on
Haven't
on
gained
YouTube,
any new subscribers yet, but
on Rumble.
yeah, on Shelf Help Gaming channel. We hadn't posted in about a year, but we were still getting 1 subscriber a month, and then I think 2 months ago we lost 2 subscribers.
Yeah, I lost a few because I've been
anyways.
inactive for a month and a half.
Yeah,
But we're working on some new stuff.
Yeah.
We'll have some new stuff very soon. I just need to probably record some stuff on Monday if someone's
same
got
here.
time.
We're planning on finally getting some official reviews of board games. We're working on this one first.
It's a good one.
Oh.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's really fun to beat David at that game. So. Actually, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I won that one too, right?
I'm pretty sure you did, yeah.
Yeah?
We went easy on you, though.
I've just got this habit of David will hey, this is a game. I play it every lunch. I come home from work and I play with my wife. Play this every day. And I play it for the first time and I just wipe the floor with him every time. I'm just a strategist. Yes. It does feel good, though, because you and Christopher would always gang up on me in strategy games when I was a kid, and it feels good to know that I'm smarter than you now. So
Yeah, well, you're welcome to
Yeah,
rematch any day.
I have nightmares about playing Stratego with Christopher.
Man,
Okay,
it was brutal. I still remember the first time.
he beat you too. He would cream you
Yeah,
too.
he was amazing at any strategy game. But I remember the first time I beat him, I put my flag right up front and didn't guard it at all with any bombs or anything, and I kept freaking him out. Several times, like thinking about moving that piece that was my flag and then not doing it.
Right.
So, to cement it in his brain that that's not my flag. And he went the whole game. He couldn't figure it out. And I beat him.
good.
And he's like, where the heck is your flag?
That's the kind of bluff that works once,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
it was so good.
It's like Lightbringer. You can only pull that off against who's it? What's
Andros guy?
Andros guy. You can only use that trick against Andros once, and it'll be glorious.
Man,
but it is a trick, and it is not skill.
Those games with Andros, that was really fun.
Best part of the books. Lightbringer. I've been reading a lot of books. It's been crazy. I finished Dungeon Crawler 5. Planning a stream for that soon. It was supposed to happen this week, and then it didn't. And I'm almost done with Heroes Die as well. That was the one that Shelf Centered recommended. It's very good. It's very dark, but also funny and really, really smart.
Mark Clark.
Mark Clark wants to,
Gunmetal Gods. Yeah, so the thing about Gunmetal Gods is it is very fast paced. Like a lot happens at once. Sometimes it's just almost like it's summarizing the plot almost in some cases.
It's
so you have to pay attention. It's a commitment. It's really good, but it's really deep.
It's also very different. Like it's not structured or written like an American.
Right.
Because it's not. It's like people's brains work differently, and it's seeing into a completely different culture and style of writing.
Yeah,
it feels like a slog. Have you gotten to like the good part of the first part of the book yet?
No, I agree with you, Mark. I really like it. I like Gunmetal Gods, but it was almost a chore to listen to that sometimes because I had to be mentally invested in it. I couldn't just put it on and listen to it casually. I have to be like, okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to read Gunmetal Gods, listen to it all the way, because if you don't pay attention for like 5 minutes in the audiobook, you are completely lost because so much can happen in 5 minutes. So, I agree with you. I like it, but it's a beast.
I love it. But I like books, so.
Yeah.
We've got Silo, episode 2 of season 2 to talk about. We've got the finale of Arcane to talk about. I was hoping Mexa would show up, but I haven't heard from him. He's probably busy or sleeping or playing League. And we've also got Dune Prophecy to talk about.
Yeah.
Which we're a week behind on. And I was wrong about Silo, because Silo is on Thursdays.
Yeah, that surprised me.
It's because it's on Apple. It's because we started talking about Dune, and I was like, oh, this is going to be the Sunday thing. And then we moved to Silo, but my brain hadn't switched from HBO to Apple. And I was thinking, oh, we're going to be behind on Silo too. No, Silo comes out like Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So what should we do first? Should we do Silo?
Well,
since it's the oldest?
I didn't get to Dune, so if you guys want to talk about Dune later.
Should we talk about Silo then?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do Silo first.
Let's do news.
Okay.
It's not a whole lot of news. The trailer for How I Met Your Mother came out.
You mean How I Met Your Father?
The How I Met Your Dragon. That's it. That's
right.
I was like, I think we're thinking two separate.
How I Trained Your Mother.
Yeah. And there's Black Vikings.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Aside from that race swap that didn't make any sense, I don't know. I'm kind of
I disagree.
Kind of liking what I see.
I
It's up in the air.
I think it's a
There's
weird
lot
movie to adapt because it's still going to be 90% CGI.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be that different from the animated movie.
That's going to be my main problem. Is a lot of the shots that they showed were shot-for-shot remakes.
And I don't.
Lion King didn't distinguish itself enough. It tried to go for those shot-for-shot remakes, and it was just not as good as the original.
And you know what, Alan? I think you bring up a point about being the CGI, because looking back, like I was talking about this with my wife, and she was, talking about how, like, if we want a live adaptation, a lot of times you do want kind of like a one-on-one, like one-for-one adaptation, right? Like, hey, this is what it was in the animated one, this is what it is live action. But I think you bring up the CGI as a huge point as to what makes them a little bit more successful or not. Because, for example, Lion King was literally the one-for-one, and
so bad.
But
garbage.
So much of it was just CGI again, right? So it's like it was still CGI.
Well, especially because there aren't any humans in that. Jared, it's 100% CGI. It's still an animated movie.
Yeah, so to call
it's not a live.
action,
it's not live action. It's It's lifelike.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely.
But it's still a cartoon.
Where you see a lot of these whether they're more successful or not. Because I think a lot of times we do want to see the one-for-one, but then it is also nice to see some things that they do different, like David's saying, like sometimes it's nice to change things up.
And it's
everybody wants
that,
though, right?
It's a fine line to walk, right? Because you don't want to change things up too much that it's completely different from the original and betrays the spirit of the original, right? But you also don't want to do the shot-for-shot remake type of thing. The reason why I think the Lion King wasn't as good as the original, and I don't think it was terrible. I think it was okay. It just wasn't as good. Why would I ever watch that over the original? Is that it tried to do those shot-for-shot remakes, and even with the lines, it tried to almost quote them word for word, but then it would tweak a little bit thing. So it was almost the original thing, but it wasn't, and it just didn't add anything new. It added a couple extra lines of context.
It also removed all of the emotion,
right? And that's the thing with
by making it lifelike. You removed the emotion from the characters,
the animation.
And so they were just mumbling their lines and talking. It was awful.
And
I disagree with you that it wasn't that bad. I hate the Lion King remake.
I think there's a couple of things that it does pretty well, but yeah, I agree. It lacks emotion, and it's not just that remake. I think all of the other remakes have struggled with comparing to the original ones. The performances just aren't there, especially in the musical numbers. You can tell that.
Don't even talk to me about talk to me about the mixing of these new songs.
Yeah.
It's awful, horrible.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. But anyways, I still think that the best live action remake that they have done has been Aladdin, and I think that's because they didn't try to go shot for shot remake. There's like, okay, this is the story. We're still staying true to the story, but we're going to try a little thing different. The only thing I didn't like about that was Jafar, because Jafar was not very terrible. Good at all. And her musical number in the middle made absolutely no sense. They cast
a twink as the villain. It just doesn't. It didn't make sense.
But the rest of it was good, story wise and everything. I really liked what they did with Aladdin. Will Smith was good too.
My favorite part was the musical number that they added, where the female protagonist was singing about how she wouldn't be silent as they were taking her to jail and silencing her. My best part. So,
anyways,
they have said it won't be a shot-for-shot remake, despite the only thing you see in the trailer are shot-for-shot remakes.
Exactly.
But I don't think I like the casting of the kid, or at least maybe he's a fine actor. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I think his haircut looks awful. His haircut looks like he's the star of a 90s. He looks like he's from like Saved by the Bell.
Well, But it looks pretty accurate to how it was in the animated.
Dude, he looks like a Disney Channel kid.
I know, I agree.
Yeah.
It's like a High School Musical haircut.
Yeah,
But
the hair, it's awful. It's awful.
But it is like when I saw it, I was like,
No,
oh yeah,
they're Vikings. He's riding a dragon. His hair should be a mess. He should be caked in dirt. All of these people should, and they're not.
Yeah, that's true, and that's my one. Not my one issue, but that's another issue that I saw in the trailers. Is everything looks very clean, like the sets and everything. Like there's no dust. Especially the scene that they showed in the arena when they're trying to fight. Just everything just looks too clean. It looks like a stage production or something. And I'm hoping that we haven't seen anything because they haven't released a full trailer. This is just like a behind the scenes look. I'm hoping that they add some stuff in post.
I mean, at least Astrid is covered in dirt. Oh wait, no, that's.
Anyways, I don't know. I'm hopeful. I think it could be okay. We'll see. It is the same director, and they're bringing back Gerard Butler, which is fun. So
yeah. Oh man, they took away. There was a community notes on this one. I'm gonna pull it up so I can read it directly because I sometimes I get community notes on my phone that I don't get on my computer, and so I screenshotted it on my phone just to make sure that I would have it. But this character looks very different too, and the complaints are you don't see people complaining that he isn't blonde, by the way, and the community note on my phone says people are complaining that he isn't blonde and links to people complaining about it.
Yeah.
I did not see the Will Smith thing, so I don't know how to comment on it, but it sounds accurate because he's kind of a dick. Yeah, most of Hollywood is just full of scumbags. So, par for the course. Wouldn't be surprised. HBO is very aware of what happened with the aging cast of Stranger Things. And there's already an idea for making sure Harry Potter doesn't suffer the same fate, David.
Pray tell.
You mean like the fact that each book takes a year?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, they handled it very well. In the
What?
movie.
That being said, with
What
the
is this
original movie,
article?
there was a huge time gap between, I think, 1 and 2. They all aged up like crazy.
It was 2 and 3. There was a big gap.
Was it
but-
2 and 3?
Yeah.
Well, that's just because everyone hit their
That
growth
one,
spurts in between
that was it.
movies, and Hermione got hot. So,
Yeah.
Stranger Things, like all 3 seasons, it's like a year, right?
I don't know.
I guess
the
maybe 2 years,
exact time.
and they take 10 years to film a season.
Right? Yeah. Maybe
The solution is
production
baked, like. The solution is we're just gonna treat it like a regular TV show, and make sure that we film it on time.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with this one. Turns out HBO stands by J.K. Rowling as it reboots the series. J.K. Rowling has a right to express her personal views. We will remain focused on the development of the new series, which will only benefit from her involvement.
See, that's all you have to say, guys. It's like she has her own personal views.
Great.
We're not going to fire you, Gina Carano.
Personal
You can
views.
do whatever you want.
I disagree with 90% of her personal views.
Right. But
She's a
this
wacko
is-
feminist.
This is what companies should do. Say, hey, our actors and our writers and our directors and everything else, they have their own personal views. They have their own political and religious beliefs and everything, and they can say whatever the heck they want on their own time. And it's not going to affect the making of our product.
See, like HBO will do stuff like this that I'm like, okay, this is great. I really like that. And then they hire James Gunn for the guy just and they cancel Raised by Wolves. Just completely butcher the DCU. I want Warner Brothers to do good. I want to be rooting for you.
And they did a good thing with Penguin. We'll see what it leads to. But I'm still waiting for that announcement that he's going to somehow rope Penguin and the Matt Reeves Batman into the new DCU continuity somehow.
Not going to happen.
David's going to be more successful than the crap that
it's going to be
planned.
It's going to be. Anyway, David's just sipping on copium right now. Wicked came out this week.
Yeah.
And Wicked arrived in theaters with an unprecedented audience score of 99%. Hey, David, when was the theatrical release of Wicked?
I haven't been keeping tabs on it.
It was the 22nd.
2 days ago.
Yeah. This was released on Tuesday.
Wow. Okay.
So the only audience that had seen the movie, apparently 1,000 plus people have already seen it.
Okay.
So look.
That's weird because the rating on the left, right? That's audience. Or sorry, that's critic.
That's the critic. Yeah, the critic score comes out first because they get previews, right?
Right.
Occasionally, you'll have super. They'll have private screenings. Like on the Tuesday before, or they'll do screening. They lost. If you live in California, sometimes you get. If you live close to Hollywood, you can see a movie earlier in the week. There are a couple theaters that have access like that.
Right.
But the audience has scores before the critics do.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah, it's a little
especially that many too.
It's a little bit odd, don't you think? Almost like Rotten Tomatoes kind of means nothing now that they censor their reviews.
Yeah.
Anyway,
now?
it's been updated now. It's 97, which
still pretty good though.
Now it's
got 10,000 ratings.
Views. Goodness.
I've seen clips though, and I'm not impressed.
Yeah, what I've seen
specifically with
that's the biggest thing. It's 3 hours long, and it's only part one.
Oh,
that's my major grievance
also,
right now.
Look, the music isn't very good. Ariana Grande is making some choices with their delivery on the clips that I've seen, and same with Cynthia. Right? Is that? Oh, it's right there. I don't like their performances.
Yeah.
And the songs are auto-tuned out the butthole, and you can't really do that in a stage play, can you? And I don't. Not super excited.
Yeah.
But don't worry though, because David, you'll probably love this movie. It's super gay. Here, let me see.
And I'll love it. Why?
Because it's. We all know.
Yeah.
Did you need me to say it?
Please.
I don't think your wife will be very happy about it.
Wow.
All right, what did they say here?
It's.
Oh my gosh, those nails.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's the Acolyte 2.0.
Every day in the Emerald City is a pride parade.
Oh my god,
right?
yeah.
I mean, look at
That's great.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Even like the chickens. Those chickens are gay.
It's like it's word for word the Acolyte interview, isn't it?
Yeah, that's insane.
I think R2-D2 is gay with C-3PO. I think they go in the back and they scissor. They scissor each other's hard drives.
Oh my god.
What was the other interview that they copied that as well? There were This is the third thing now, the third interview that they've
They did a similar one with
gayest thing ever. Was it the
Snow White?
Not the Wanda. The WandaVision follow-up.
Oh, Agatha.
All along. Was it that one?
Yeah.
It's
like it feels scripted.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Dillman in that Bodhi cardigan.
Oh.
Let's wake it up. Let's talk about
Audio
it.
sync is awful.
I want that cardigan.
The what?
Audio sync is awful.
Let's just talk for a minute about him and his little custom tea device as well, his little teacup. Dr. Dilly. With his tea in his...
He likes tea.
I didn't watch the full clip. I didn't see it cut to the reporter. That was shocking. Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's some promotion of your film.
It's true.
It's true.
Gay icon Dr. Dill.
Sure. I do think
I don't know what they're talking about. Do you?
I mean, presumably they're talking about a character in the.
Don't care.
Yep.
that scene with his teacher friends or his animal friends, they're all a little bit like
Very chic.
you know, Snow Leopard's lounging on the couch.
And the little Tamarin monkey.
I want to see this movie so bad. But apparently it's making some money, I guess. It's the third biggest opening of 2024 because 2024 has been known for its big openings. There was Daredevil and Wolverine, which was big. And what else?
Dune.
Dune wasn't very big.
I think it was one of the bigger releases this year, wasn't it? I mean, it was a part.
It was one of the bigger ones. It wasn't as good as they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It was. They made their money back, but not. They didn't. I don't make as much as they wanted to. I don't think they broke $1 billion, did they?
Barbieheimer was last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was definitely.
But even then, Oppenheimer didn't make as much money as they thought it was going to make.
Yeah.
Barbie did. And I was wrong. I was disappointed in humanity with how much money Barbie made.
Yep.
But it's not a bad opening. Oh, I'm not showing. I'm not.
Nope.
I've been moving screens this whole time. See?
Yeah.
See, this is what I was talking about. Gladiator 2, I've heard horrible things. Steve from The Prophet of the Dragon has seen it. And he said it was the worst movie he's ever seen in his life. So not looking forward to that. But yeah, it's not horrible. It's not.
It doesn't have those projections yet.
I still don't think it's going to make $1 billion. Let's see. How much did
I don't know.
was
It
it
might.
Oppenheimer?
Wicked was
Oh no, Dune.
a hot thing for a hot minute.
Yeah, it was. And they've kind of botched this release.
I mean,
or at least the
I-
promo. The
I think if
promos
this
haven't
came
gotten
out-
me excited.
I think if this came out 2 or 3 years ago, it would have made 3 times as much money.
I think 5
Easily.
years ago.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been huge. I would have loved to see an adaptation 10 years ago.
I wanted to see it too because I never saw it in the Broadways.
In the Broadway. Oh man, computer's being slow right now. Yeah, Dune only got to 700. Not very good. I mean, better than they made money. They made a lot of money.
Yeah.
They would have liked it to get to $1 billion.
Yeah.
Especially since part 1 got a COVID same day. My wife saw it before me.
Yeah.
And I was seeing it day 1 in theaters.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb. They should have
just
waited
watched
at least a month to release it on HBO. Come on.
She watched streaming, whatever. See, HBO just does weird stuff.
Yep.
How much did Oppenheimer make? Oppenheimer Dinger. I spelled that wrong.
Yeah, it's
I spelled open. It's not going to find it. Anyway.
Anyway,
Yeah, I've heard Gladiator 2 is terrible. I've heard
I heard Denzel Washington is decent in it, and that's about it.
man, my computer's being slow for some reason. I don't know why. I have good internet. Anyway, more news. This is from Time Magazine. Even a magical Cynthia Erivo, I don't know if I'm saying that right, don't really care, can't cast a spell strong enough to save Wicked. I didn't read this one, but I thought the headline was interesting because most of the news that I've seen, oh, it's so good. Like even Nerdrotic was like, yeah, it was well acted, and I hated it just because it was gay. You know, like it's it's a girly story.
Well, I mean, that's my question really about this whole thing. It's like, look, the musical can tell the story, the whole story, in about
in 2.5 hours. 2.5, yeah.
2.5. So why are we making a 3-hour movie to tell half of the story? It's like we do not need that sort of filler to tell this story and to make it be good and make people want to watch it. Like, why are we dragging this out?
Yeah.
That's the
Because
crazy
they
thing.
can is the reason.
You can't believe it.
So even her amazing performance is not strong enough to counteract the cyclone of entertainment with a capital E swirling around her. For a movie whose chief anthem is an advertisement for the joys of defying gravity, Wicked is surprisingly leaden with a promise of more of the same to come.
Wow.
The shiz, it's not. That's how this ends.
Wow.
I don't know if you want to read this whole thing, but I'm assuming it's saying what we're all suspecting is it's 3 freaking hours long.
Yeah.
Is Jeff Goldblum the wizard? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's Dr.
See, like I think that's a good casting. I think Michelle Yeoh's fun. I didn't know there was a wheelchair character.
Yeah.
You didn't know there was a wheelchair character? Okay. All right. I don't know if you guys are the people.
Oh, that's her little sister, right? Yeah. I haven't seen the play. I've only listened to the music.
I am not familiar with
I forgot her little
all.
sister, her little Elphaba's little sister is disabled.
I'm
I also
familiar with
forget.
I'm familiar with the source material of the source material.
That's why she wants to
the
fly. She wants
original-
to fly too because she can't. She's in a wheelchair. I remember it's been a long time. Okay, like I said, 10 years ago, I would have been excited for this movie.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. She literally pawns her friend off to like. So she has this guy. Okay, I don't have time to describe the whole plot. So,
But that shot right there, that wig looks so awful and fake.
It does.
Like, anyway, yeah, that doesn't look. That's not a good look. That does not look good at all.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
I probably won't see it in theaters. One, because
Okay.
I'm broke, and 2, because I'm not really interested. I'll wait till second part comes out and see
my page finally loaded.
general results of everything.
Oppenheimer was
almost
just
2 billion.
shy of 1 billion, so it made a pretty penny.
But again, that was last year. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the other in the top 3 grossing movies for this year.
It was Deadpool, Wolverine,
Right? Oh, Inside Out 2, maybe?
Oh, yeah,
I still haven't
that's
seen that.
that's it. It's
That had
Inside
to have
Out.
been it, right?
I was like, what?
Yeah, that was.
There hasn't been anything else this year. What movie is it? You're
I
right.
mean,
It's,
I've heard of some other ones that were pretty good, like the Wild Robot. I've heard was good.
Oh
but
yeah,
I
I've
don't
heard
think
everybody rave about that one.
I don't think that was a huge
yeah, financial.
release,
It wasn't a billion-dollar movie.
right.
Yeah, Inside Out made $1 billion worldwide.
Okay.
1.5 worldwide.
Nice.
And
So that would be number 1, and then Deadpool,
600 domestic, and then Deadpool Wolverine made $1 billion worldwide, 600 domestic as well.
Gotcha.
And then Despicable Me 4 was just shy of $1 billion worldwide. So
Why do they keep making those?
Elliot loves them. My kid does. So the first movie is fantastic.
One's great.
I haven't watched any of the other ones.
I've watched part of the second one, and I watched the Minions standalone prequel thing, which was awful.
Is
Love
it
them
as
Skittles.
is Wicked as boring as Into the Woods? Okay, so I haven't seen either stage play. I've listened to the music for both of them, and I did watch the Into the Woods movie, which I thought was horrendously boring. The music to Wicked is better. If you don't know anything about the story, so it's I don't know. I know you've seen the stage play 100 times of Into the Woods, Jared. So I can't really comment on which one's more boring.
I think that Into the Woods. Okay, that's a good question because I think Into the Woods definitely has like a more melodramatic tone, right? So it's the first act.
Yeah.
The first act is very much like, oh, fairy
Funny.
tales and happily ever after.
The second half
literally,
subverts
everything
everything.
goes wrong, right? And so it's so it definitely is a lot less gleeful and kind of fun and punky. Wicked is definitely a lot more enjoyable throughout the whole story.
The music is genuinely good. I like the music to Wicked.
Yeah, I'd also say the thing that's really different with Into the Woods is Into the Woods. You're following 3 or 4 different storylines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are three different storylines, and some of them kind of overarch each other and kind of intertwine with each other. Whereas Wicked, so the problem with that is that you don't get a lot of character development for one particular story
For anyone, yeah.
Yeah, whereas with Wicked, it's just these 2 characters, right? So it's just this telling of the wicked old witch, from The Wizard of Oz, and
I think. Oh, is that what it's from? Is that what it's from? I didn't realize.
Yeah, yeah. So it's telling basically the backstory of the Wicked Witch of the West and the
Glenda, the Good Witch.
Yeah, Glenda.
Yeah, and it's the
Good Witch of the North.
The Wizard of Oz is a douchebag, and
yeah. What's interesting about the story is that you start to understand that the characters that you see in The Wizard of Oz are actually not anything like the characters that are being portrayed, or they're not actually anything like you thought they would be.
Right.
Go ahead and take it. All right, we'll just restart the stream. This is Best Gen. We complain about stuff, and David's gay now. So,
yeah. So
talk about Wicked.
Wicked is really it's great because you get this character development between these two main characters and their relationship together, and what that then drives the both of those individuals to do based on the circumstances and the situations that they're put in.
Yeah, Galena wants to work within the system. Elphaba wants to break the system.
Yeah.
They both think that the wizard's a douche, but and they're friends. They're enemies that become friends, and then they become frenemies again. And Galena has to go off to do wicked witch stuff.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say they're really enemies. So they start off.
They start off hating each other.
They start off as being roommates that don't understand each other, and then they become friends.
Yes.
And then at the end, you're like, oh well, they've got to become into these 2 different characters, and so they've got to hate each other. But anyway, I don't want to spoil too much of it. But
right.
But it
ends with Galena, sending a little girl to kill her best friend. So.
Yeah. But it's fun because you get more character development. The songs are
even though she had the ruby slippers the whole time. She could have just sent her home immediately, couldn't she?
Probably. I think
so.
I think that's kind of a common discussion about that movie. It's like,
yeah,
that movie's really well made, and a lot and
makes no sense. Yeah,
and well, it was. Just infamously, just like the most brutal production of all time. People died. the Wicked Witch got lead poisoning from the green paint.
I had heard that.
Some dude hung himself out of stress, and just pretty sure the girl was abused as well. And but they made a good movie, so it's classic.
Iconic.
The scene, yeah, I love the going into full color reveal. It's true movie magic. So
For sure.
So yeah,
it was a Weinstein-esque production. Very.
What a
Hey,
weird
hey,
way to describe
look.
that.
Say what you will about the guy. He made some good movies. He had other people make some good movies for him.
There you go.
I love the behind the scenes Lord of the Rings stuff where Harvey Weinstein was actively trying to destroy those films. He wanted them to put all 3 books into one movie. And Peter Jackson hated him so much that he turned him into an ogre and had him killed in battle in the 3rd movie. Wonderful. Wonderful stories. Yes. So there's that. We don't need these other 2 stories. Well, this one will be interesting. This will be a good segue into Dune Prophecy when we get there, so I can save it for later. So you wanted to talk about Silo.
Yeah. Let's do Silo. So we don't get anything from
Juliet.
character.
Well, that's because the first episode was all
Right.
Juliet. So now we're getting all Silo 13. Is it 13? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was good.
Um,
I liked how the mayor guy. What's his title? It's
I don't
not the
remember.
mayor, but the
General.
dude in charge.
IT
Mayor,
guy. Well, he's the mayor right now.
Is he the mayor? Okay.
He's
Yeah,
the
he-
acting mayor.
Yeah, I like how he handled the situation. You know, he's like, I can't deny it because people will still believe. So let's
You
give them the partial truth.
You didn't think the speech was a little funny?
Well, because
Like he was doing a good performance, right? But just like the fact that it's like just the subject matter of the speech felt just really funny to me. Just we got tape, and it's good tape and bad tape, and the tape will save us.
Yeah.
All hail the tape. All you need, look, I've put this tape on the end of a rod, and all you need to do to be saved, just look up at the tape.
Well, here's how I saw it.
It was a really passionate speech about tape, and it felt weird to me.
No, but see, I saw it more of being like innovation. So it was like
Right.
the first time.
No, I get it. I get the point of the scene.
Finally starting to innovate and solve the problem of going outside, right?
Right. For me, it wasn't about the tape. It was about, hey, we've made an advancement.
It's not about the
and
nail.
There will be. He made it clear the tape wasn't enough. She's still dead.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't save her.
Yeah.
We're not ready to leave the silo yet, but this marks the first step, and I thought it was good. The only thing that
we're
was a
going
little silly,
further.
though, is because he's talking to this huge silo, and of course you hear speakers carrying his voice or whatever, but they're not carrying the voice of the hecklers. And so I thought it was kind of funny that he directly addresses the hecklers that the rest of the silo isn't going to be able to hear.
Yeah.
But
They had them mic'd up though. Because they were plants, so they had little
there you go.
battery, operated mics.
You don't think that would be a dead giveaway when all of a sudden they're like, wait, we just heard the heckler.
No,
Yeah. But no, that was really good. I liked, I liked the dissension among the people in engineering, and the Juliet's boss that was like, yeah, she's a hero, and like, well, why did you turn her in?
Yeah, right.
that was-
When she said that, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, why'd you turn her in? And then she said it. I was like, yep, exactly.
it was a good line. I'm struggling. I hate that casting for that actor, and I hate that how they've changed her character. But
Yeah.
it was a good moment.
But it was fine, yeah. Let's see what else. I liked I liked that it actually showed, because I didn't realize this before, because I thought when they found the archives of, such and such's visit to the helmet camera or whatever, I thought it was just the same file over and over again, and that was just like the feed that they sent to it. But no, they're actually recording what they see out there. So that was a cool development there, that he saw presumably everything until she destroyed the suit, right?
Yeah,
And,
that
knows
was
that she's not dead.
Being able to follow it, so he knew that so he saw the other side.
I think that's a plot hole.
You think so?
Yeah.
Or no, because they brought it up. No, yeah, that's different. That's different from the books. So they're not seeing through her. In the books, they don't know. They can't see what she can see. They're just pumping the VR simulation into the helmet.
Okay, so that's what I thought it was season 1. But I thought it was interesting that the mayor guy was watching.
Yes, that is a change. They've added that. Yeah,
of his thing, so he sees the other silo.
Or there might be like range on it, because he did mention seeing all the bodies. But no.
So the other
because he also there's another reason why he knows about the bodies. Like they're in contact with the other silos.
That was the other question I had, because you mentioned that last time, that there is inter-silo communication.
It might have just been a mistake that they they didn't realize the implications of showing the view from her helmet, because in the books he does not know that she's still alive.
Okay. Well,
so that might be a mistake.
It doesn't. It only shows the footage until they see all the bodies. So it could be that the signal cuts out when she enters the other silo. So he might not know if she's alive or not.
Maybe. No. Episode 2 is all about the original silo, Justin, the one she left. So we don't get any of Juliet in this one.
Yeah, which was really good. But yeah, they kind of played it off like they're kind of implying that he doesn't. There isn't that silo communication, because you would think that he would know about this silo that rebelled and broke out.
He did know about them. That's why he said we don't want the people to see all the bodies.
Right, but the way he talked about it with that other chick, which I'm confused.
Well, also, you're going to be in contact with the silos that you're still in contact with. If you have a silo that decides to leave, you don't know if all.
Right, you might not know the end outcome, but
if the person there didn't have a shadow reporting in, they might not. They could still be alive down there, but just not. They don't have contact with them.
That's true too. But you would assume that. You're right. If they didn't have a shadow, that might be the case.
They can keep reporting.
You would assume that if there was an acting mayor in the other silo, he would have been informed, hey, there's an insurrection, they're rising up, and then all of a sudden we don't hear from him again. So
right. The mayors don't know about the other silos.
It's just the IT guys?
It's just the head of IT.
Oh.
And this not the mayor, she's the governor or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or lead admiral something. I can't remember her title. She was his shadow. So that's why she knows. Which is also added in the books, but we'll see.
Okay. So it's the head of IT, not the mayor. And
this
guy happens to be the mayor, interim mayor anyway. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, at least that's kind of how I've read into it, at least.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes more sense then.
And I think they've hinted to the fact that they do communicate. I think that's one of the things that they're trying to surprise people with later. Be like, what? You guys communicate? So I think that's something we'll see later in this season.
Just the one. Yeah.
Another thing that was silly too is they mentioned being sent off to the mines again, and again, like what are they mining? Where are they digging?
They can only dig down, apparently.
But we've already seen.
They mentioned it's a rule you're not allowed to dig horizontally.
So then they'd be digging in that abandoned area that.
Well, the abandoned area is not directly beneath the silo; it's to the side of the silo because they dug the silo and then they hid the drills. It's silly. It's
That is very silly. It was implied to me that was the very bottom of the entire silo tunnel.
No, it was because they went on a little offshoot.
Gotcha. But yeah, I just think that's a little bit silly to keep mentioning that offhand,
I agree.
not explaining.
And also, it seems like it would really kind of give away the twist that the reason you can't dig horizontally is because we're right next to another silo.
I mean, but then there's also a lot of other rules, like you can't have magnification and you can't have mechanized lifts. Like, why do they have those rules too? Not all their rules make sense. So
true. Not all of those rules are in the book. So,
which ones are not in the books?
All of them.
They don't mention the no.
I think no. Magnification's not in the books, at least not yet.
Weird.
It wasn't in book 1, but yeah, no. So it wouldn't be in book 2 either because stuff. But yeah, that wasn't a rule. I can't remember if they mentioned no automating travel between levels. I'm 90% sure that's not in the books either. But it makes sense. It's like I don't hate that they added that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a dwarf.
The thing that I thought was interesting about this particular episode is that the lady that was his shadow, that has all the artifacts and was sick and now is feeling better and doesn't want to drink anymore, is that she wants to go out. Like, she wants to go see it for herself.
She wants to have that assurance, right? Like, if she's like, I'll work with you for now, but I want to have tape so you can't force me to go clean and kill me. Yeah. I want to at least have a shot,
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's really interesting. And the only qualm I had with her this episode, though, was that she felt really wishy-washy. Like, she was 1 minute, she's like, I hate this guy. And then he comes over and talks to her, and then the next minute she's like, "Oh, come in!" Like, "Oh, I can't wait to have you visit with me." Like, it was really weird.
I agree. I think it was the speech, though, that she saw how he handled the speech, and was like, "Okay, he's got a handle of this. I'll back him or whatever." But
yeah, that's why the concept of the book is really fun because the head of IT, Bernard, is awful. Right? He's a horrible guy, scumbag, but also he's not wrong about the reality of the world that they're living in.
Right.
And so, like, yeah, he's a dick, but it's a really interesting story about, hey, what happens when all hope is lost? How do you keep hope? And it's fun.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that's going to happen that I'm excited for, and they are stretching it, baby. Basically, this entire episode is filler, or at least added. They're putting off the inevitable.
Well, but I think it's good though because
it's fine.
After the last season, you're like,
I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah, what's happening, right? So
it is extra.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm excited.
Book 2 is in the past. Didn't realize that.
So this second season is still book 1 then?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep.
It's good though. I think more people should definitely watch it.
Come for the commentary.
It's pretty good.
We are going to talk about Silo.
I say I've got a little condom on my mic, so I can't do that.
Oh wow, this got weird real fast.
There, yeah. I think I can unsee that.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Mark.
My eyeball.
There you go. I hope you're at work too. And I hope you have headphones.
Oh boy.
He's just got this on,
I didn't have
he's
anything
got
else
this on
to
the
say.
loudspeakers. It's what it is, though. It's like a little. It's a pop filter. Kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Stop stuff you don't want going into the microphone. It's protection. So, yeah, Silo, there's not a whole lot to discuss, really, other than this episode is filler.
The other thing, too, that I thought was a little weird is that they brought those two ladies up. And then, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, probably what happened was they brought those women up, and since there was a camera in there, they were pretty much confessing to their crimes while in the cell.
Well, they already knew. They have cameras outside too, so they already knew who it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they just didn't want them to be a part of the speech by the.
But I don't think they would have.
Well, I think you guys are overthinking it. He didn't know what he was going to do. Bernard was panicking, had him arrested, then came up with the idea to sway the crowd with a speech. When that worked, okay, we can let him go. Because now, if it went out, since I've told my story first, they have to disprove my story for anyone to believe them.
Right.
Yeah, and he did say that. He mentioned that. Yeah.
But it was clear he didn't. That's why he has that scene with the governor, trying to figure out what to do first. He didn't know. He didn't have a plan.
Yeah, and that was the interesting thing about this particular episode is that you can see like at first you're like, wait, where, like, what, when is this, right? And then it becomes pretty apparent quickly that that it's literally right after she walks out. Like, he's still got the garb on and everything that he had, and so. But so that was the one thing where I was like, oh yeah, okay, when is this happening? And then you had to kind of, figure out when all the conversations were occurring. But
you got to practice safe stream. You got to make sure your stream is protected. So.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's fine.
But
my wife is liking the show. I got her to watch season 1 so we could watch this one together. And
to your point, though, Alan, I don't know. I kind of am feeling at this point, though, that even though it was a good episode, like, I didn't want to see it. Frankly, like, I would have preferred to just kept with Juliet's story and seen where that went. Like, I'm not particularly. I wasn't interested at the start of this season to see what they were doing, at least so early on. Like, I would have liked to see.
I think it's important though, because I think if we hadn't seen it, we'd have been wondering what was going on. Why haven't more people left? And I think this answers that question, because as soon as people see, and I like what they did with that, because they're like, hey, she left. We should all be leaving. It's fine to go out now. And then some people are like, no, you didn't see that, because they weren't all there at the screens watching.
Both stories are important.
Yeah,
and they're going to happen simultaneously, and it's important.
Okay,
I agree. I just think that
the Julie's is more interesting. Yeah, it
is. I would have liked to have half of this episode
for now
here and half Juliet, and I hope we don't go back and forth and do one full episode of.
And the reason it's more interesting is because they're stretching it out. The Juliet's part of the story is more interesting right now. The other part gets pretty interesting pretty soon.
Yeah,
I hope.
Well, I hope the future episodes are about half and half.
There's a really good moment, which is probably not going to be in the show because of changes they've made. And the other thing is, apparently, even though you spent an entire episode in season 1, which is the worst part of season 1, which you've heard me complain about profusely, you spent an entire episode explaining that the silo can't be shut down. You can't shut the engine down.
And now they're like, let's shut it down.
And now they're saying, now let's shut it down.
Yeah.
It was the worst part of season 1. Absolutely retarded.
You're right.
And it's causing you a problem now because apparently you didn't finish reading the book. I think they're going to gloss over it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Or what's going to piss me off more, though, is if they're like, is if they come up with a solution, and their solution is, let's divert the steam.
Yeah.
I will break, and I'm like, yeah! You could have done that from the beginning!
You're like, what? It's safe now?
That's what I'm saying!
That's funny.
Anyway, it's a pretty good show. I've got some things that I can't talk about yet that I'm worried about, and we shall see. We shall see. Mark doesn't speak for me. What was he saying? Oh, Martina's going to go see Wicked.
Yeah. Ask Martina about Wicked.
David hasn't seen it. Yeah. Look, you also don't want to be the reason I lose that bet. So I really don't want Wicked to hit $1 billion. But hey, he's got to come back on the show. He didn't DM me. So I don't know how to get a hold of that guy who I might owe $50 to. So
Oh, that's true. I got to go watch it just for that.
No.
Okay, everybody's still watching the stream.
I will pay for you. I will pay for you to go see Gladiator 2. If you don't see Wicked, I don't want to lose the bet. I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. If Deadpool Wolverine didn't make $1 billion,
that's true. I don't know, but Wicked's got a huge fan base. It really does.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think the culture shift.
Kind of hard. It's kind of hard to predict. It was a huge thing.
No, Mark, you are. I'm gonna watch Top Gun Maverick. You have no power. You have no power here, wizard. I can always do more Wicked content if Silo goes full retard. There are some things I'm genuinely mad about that I can't tell you yet because it'll be spoilers. But
here's the other thing, because didn't it show? It showed. Was this last episode or this episode where the two girls went down to that place underneath?
The two girls went down to that place.
That was a flashback on this episode. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I thought. It was a flashback of this episode where it was flashback of Juliet and her one lady friend.
That was the last episode, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
Episode 1 was all about Juliet in the new silo, and it was flashing back to her relationship with the butch lesbian chick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I don't understand. I mean, I guess my understanding. Okay, I guess it didn't ever explicitly say this, but I was thinking that particular area was only known by the guy that showed Juliet it, right? Like, because he showed it to her later and was like, "Look, I know this place, and I got all these weird, crazy artifacts down there."
Yes, that's what I thought too, and it was inconsistent.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden she's going down there before, and I'm like, wait a second, like, I don't. Okay.
Or it might have been Juliet that showed him the hiding spot, and he just kind of took it over. But I thought I remember season 1 saying he showed it to her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It showed him.
Okay.
Showing her. Yeah.
Then maybe that was a different spot. I don't know if that was the same room.
It looked the exact same.
Yeah.
See, that's a mistake. The show has dropped the ball several times.
Yeah. So there's a few things like that where I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what that has to do with this or where that came from, but it's still good. It's good.
Fine. It's fine.
I'm still enjoying
I want it to be better. It's made some mistakes and some things that I am genuinely pissed off about that I can't explain until we get there. So we'll see.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
But production quality is pretty good. I just want do better. Okay, do better, Silo. You can build a silo. With an email. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you can send the sheriff to go clean with a phone call. Do better, Silo. Do better. Arcane is a show that happened.
Yeah.
That's how you're introducing it?
Because I'm upset, Jared.
I told
Can
you
tell?
my concerns from the second grouping of
Here's the thing.
episodes, and they continue with this finale.
Here
It's
is
still beautiful as hell.
Here is the thing. Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful fight scenes.
Well,
Some.
I do think some of the choreography is a little bit messy. The bullet hell, flashies all over the place.
We can
It's
all
kinda
go
hard to
see
follow.
Wicked during Dragonsteel. No, screw you. Oh wait, I don't hate myself. Good call. David's going to be there. Jared's not. Right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Simply Nerdy will be there too.
Yep.
Yes, Arcane. So here's the thing.
Very confusing. All over the place.
I thought it was quite nice, but
Here's the finale. Okay, just the concept. Let's talk about the concept of the finale. I didn't hate it, and that's the problem. I kind of like the finale of Arcane. The problem is,
Came out of nowhere
it
for one.
is I don't hate the story. I don't hate what they went for. It was but it was a finale to a completely different show.
Almost, yeah.
This is not the story that we were promised from season 1. Season 1 was about a civil war brewing between Piltover and Zahn. Okay?
Yep.
And that bubbling beneath the surface, and you know, they're making scientific magical advancements, and season 1 ended with a big payoff of the Civil War has started. Jinx just did a 9/11, and now season 2 is going to be the fallout. And for some reason, season 2 decided to not do any of that.
Well, to kind of do that in the first 3 episodes.
They did it, a little bit of it in a montage, but it was 5 people doing a civil war.
Right.
After a 9/11 just happened. Okay? Like, this was a huge terrorist attack. And it turned into, okay, we're going to send 2 Marines out to Iraq and see if we can find and see if we can find Saddam Hussein. Oh, Saddam Hussein isn't the one who did 9/11? No one is going to notice, right? Oh, wait, that happened, didn't it? So
oh boy, we're getting political.
but yeah, I agree with you, brother. The first 3 episodes were like, "Hey, let's go hunt Jinx," and
the
Vi
problem was
like, she's dead to me. Like I
even
don't
then though, David,
but I have to do this. I have to take her out.
even the first 3 episodes wasn't delivering the promise that we got. For some reason, season 2 decided to reboot Jinx's character.
Right.
The entire season 1 was watching her descent into madness. And then from the first episode of season 2, it's, oh, I'm a good guy again now, even though I just did 9/11.
No, but that's the thing. She's never been saying, "Hey, I'm the good guy." I think the difference is that she is more remorseful. So it's not that she's, "Hey, I'm the good guy," but she's realized what she's done, and
from
she's
the get-go, she like the season 1 was the crux where she decides to take action, and then season 2 opens with her saying, "Oh, I'm not going to do that."
All she's
It's
doing
dumb.
in this
It's
season
dumb.
is wallowing. That's a lot of what she's done. She
Her-
wallowed. She just
her
happened to go
entire-
help people because people came out to her and were
Her
like, "Hey,
entire character arc got rebooted and copy pasted in season 2, completed halfway through season 2, and then rebooted again.
Yeah.
They did season 1 Jinx story arc, season 2, half of season 2 the same arc, and then the second half the same arc.
See,
Yep.
I think initially watching the last 3 episodes, I kind of felt that way. But seeing this one, it's a lot more about the remorse that she feels and what she sees that she's become, and
Don't do
that's
that.
not the same that she's had. That's not the same that she's had from the first season. So it's a completely different sort of arc for her.
Right.
Hey.
And the difference is she decides to not be bad anymore because she realized her dad's still alive. And then that's another story arc that they repeat.
No,
Again.
But the remorse
No.
thing.
The
Look, here's the
episode
thing.
and the
The
last
remorse thing happened without any consequences, Jared.
Right.
Season 1
I understand
ended
that.
with her doing 9/11, and season 2 opened with her saying, "I don't want to fight anymore."
well, but it wasn't.
But they could have given her a reason, right? If someone that she loved died because of what she did, then she could be remorseful.
well,
But that only happens this season.
No, but that drove her to. That's what drove her to doing the 9/11 thing. Is because her father figure, who was that crazy guy, died, and that's
Yes.
what she's like. Okay, I'm
But
gonna go.
you don't-
Yes.
Go out
And
do
then
that
season
event,
2
and then you
opened
say,
by
"Oh,
reversing
I'm
that
sorry,
decision.
I didn't mean to do that.
No, the season 2 opens with her saying, "Hey, now what do I do? Like my father figure is
Right,
gone.
and that's a
What's my next
betrayal,
step?"
and that's a betrayal
And what
of the
she-
promise
what
that we got from
decided to
season
do
1
was
of
the finale.
she's crazy now and she's gonna wreak havoc, and then season 1 opened with, "Oh
Yes.
no, I don't want to wreak havoc."
Yes,
what she
I
was going to
understand
do
that is
was
kind
the
of-
Look,
finale
Jared,
of season
let me
one.
put this in Dungeon Crawler Carl context, okay? See, book 4 ends with him saying, any single one of you who shows up to the hunting grounds, I'm gonna freaking murder. Okay, and then you open up book 5 and Carl says, I'm gonna be nice to all the hunters. Do you think that would be fun to read, Jared?
You know what?
No, book 5 is the best freaking book I've ever read of my entire life because it opens with him teleporting into their camp and murdering everyone. Okay? It's so freaking good because it delivered on a promise, Jared.
Yeah,
And Mark Clark has delivered on the promise of 25 months of membership, baby. Good job, Mark Clark. I might just see Wicked because of you.
So all I'm saying is that yes, I think it may have been a weaker start, and the start of the
It's a
season was
bad
definitely-
choice.
I thought the first 3 episodes were the best part of the
brilliant.
season.
Yes.
And I will even give you that the first part of the season definitely felt like it was going in a different direction
Right,
than the
but
last.
here's the thing: you can do the remorse arc. I understand what you're trying to say. Like you can do that. You can have her. Oh no, this thing got way out of hand. But she didn't. But it happened for no reason.
Right.
That remorse arc needed to happen after episode 6
Yes.
when the kid dies, and
Well-
for some reason. They built it up like they were going to do it, but then they realized, oh, we already did the remorse arc for no reason.
Well,
so
no.
what are we going to do in episode 7? Oh, not mention the kid at all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but she's clearly distraught. Like she literally is like, I'm not doing anything. She got captured.
Okay, oh, great. So we got to. So Jared, what you're saying is we got to see the same character arc repeated.
No, it's a different level of that character.
It's
arc.
the same character arc.
Different level of
It's the same one.
Well,
exact
some
thing.
people just get stuck in a rut, man.
Yeah, I got stuck in a rut of watching season 2. Man, like I look here's. I want to love. I got in trouble. Okay, Mark Clark got mad at me for geeking out about League of Legends lore with Angry Mexa for 3 hours on this stream because I was so excited for season 2. Okay, I wanted to love this. And the problem is,
something I didn't.
and that's the
see.
thing, like, and it's even worse because I didn't hate it, right? I didn't hate the idea of what they did for this finale, but it wasn't the finale of this show. It felt like it was a completely different show.
Yeah.
And it should have been Civil War, and it turned into season 2 of The Legend of Korra. Okay? This turned into a spirit kaiju battle.
Kind of, yeah. And
It's season 2 of Legend of Korra. Think about it for 2. You know I'm right. I got you.
Here's
You, Jared.
Like what happens is that these
Jared's become the new bearded.
And hey, you know what? Someone's got to try to speak reason into these guys. No. Anyway, so basically, the way that I saw these last 3 episodes is that essentially, so first off, last time we talked about how we were a little worried that it was going to, talk about how violence was always the answer.
And I was wrong.
Yeah,
that is not the message they went with, and I'm glad. I'm very, very glad.
Yeah, me too.
Because it really felt like that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, and I will definitely concede that to you because based off of our discussion last week, like I totally feel the same way. But I'm really happy that what they were telling is that really, I mean, and thinking about it a little bit further, I think that what ultimately this kind of season has felt like is that we didn't understand who the enemy was.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we thought it was one thing, which is where
the show didn't understand who the enemy was.
Right.
And I'll get into specifics, baby.
No, but hold on. But I think that happens all too often, right? And I think that's what they were trying to say is that
that's fine.
At the first of the season,
I get. So they went for the unification arc, right? Instead of going to full out battle. The problem is you have to go to war first before like you have to go through the muck first before you go for the unification, right? So like this feels like this finale would have worked for like a season 3 or 4. Not for this.
I think it could have worked for this arc too if they had done it.
They committed to it, right?
The warring factions should have had to go at each other, and then this third party, which is the mythical arcane Jesus faction, comes in, and they're like, "Oh, this is the actual real threat. We need to band together." But no, one of the sides was allied with that.
Jared, did they though? Did they?
Yes,
you want to know what pisses me off about this episode?
Well, hold on. The first 3 episodes. No, hold on. Let me argue this point because this is exactly what you're talking about, David. The first 3 episodes was them reeling and be like, "Oh no, we got to find Jinx," and then they're still fighting. They're still trying to take down the
5 people.
Yeah, it was one.
No, they have the whole. Everybody's painting their hair blue, and everybody that's got blue hair is an outcast.
Gearing up.
I like that part.
Around just because they've got blue hair.
I think we should outcast everyone with blue hair.
Maybe. But my point is that you start to see this tension and this bullying and this muck.
Yes, and we never got to see it explode.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it was building up for this thing that never happened.
And they're finally like, "Oh, we are just destroyed." Because
the only explosion we got was episode 6, and it was Warwick, which I loved because I love Warwick, but it had nothing to do with the story.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But then in those following 3 episodes, you start to see that some of these people that we're fighting against are actually the people that we love and that we care about, right? Like you start to see, Warwick, who is tearing these people apart, is really someone that was part of the underground, someone that we had history with and we wanted to care about.
And I think that would have worked for like a season 3 or 4.
What?
And I think that would have worked for a future season, not this.
Maybe, and maybe that's the issue is that instead of trying to do it in these three sections, they did it with more of a, hey, this is one season, this is another season. Maybe that's what it was. But
you can't beat Delicious and Dungeon,
what they were
baby.
doing, David, is they were saying, hey, look, like we have gone through this fight for so much of our lives that maybe we need to look at it differently. And then they realized that the enemy really is someone different than they expected.
That's what it should have done, except for the enemy was already allied with one of the sides. So you didn't ever get those 2 sides warring building up for the whole time.
We got it
automatically allied with this supernatural force and then realize at the very end, the supernatural force.
Okay. We got to specifically talk about episode 9, which was just an absolute mess. they set it up like, okay, we hate each other and we don't know if we're going to work together, but we got to band together to fight this common evil, right? And it sets up. They're looking across the bridge. I don't know if we're going to get help from Zahn. And then Zahn shows up at the very end. They're like, okay, they're going to help us. We're going to be the enemies have become friends, which happened way too fast. Okay, could have worked for season 4 or 5, or 3 or 4, right? Now the enemies have become friends. We're going to join hand in hand in Kumbaya to fight the bad guys. And then it showed them going into Piltover.
Mm-hmm.
Did they hey Jared, did they help in the fight?
No, I was gonna say this is probably where you're
going. Jared, it showed them show up to help, and then they were used as a Deus Ex Machina after the fight was over.
Yeah, it didn't really show them.
Yeah. Also, and the show did this constantly. The red guys.
Yeah, I'm not.
Demacia. No.
Oh, Madeira or whatever. Like, is that it?
What's their
I don't know their official name, but yeah, the red.
Mel's
Army,
mom. I can't remember her. What's her mom's name?
The Ruin Lady.
Noxus. Demacia and Noxus are enemies. Okay. Garen's Demacia, and Noxus is
right.
Sorry, Garen is Demacia. Darius is Noxus. I haven't played in a long time, man. My lore is slipping. They made a big point of. Also, it was so weird that. Like the politics just made no sense at the end, right? Noxus showed up at the Jesus camp to fight, and then all of this and Caitlyn was there too, and then somehow Caitlyn made it back to the capital, but the bad lady didn't. She decided to not go back, even though she had complete control of the council.
Right.
So like the only reason that she has to fight a war is because Caitlyn mysteriously teleported back to the capital before the bad lady did, and she couldn't move her army back for reasons, whatever. Okay. So the army got stuck out by the Jesus camp.
It was because they were being set up with this immortal army, right? Which didn't show up until but they wouldn't have needed the army if they just went back to Piltover.
Right. Like she was in charge. Like she put Caitlyn in as a stooge, right? Like if she made it back first, she could have just said Caitlyn's dead and now I'm in charge. So the only reason she needed the bigger army was because she stayed to get the bigger army. And then they made a huge plot point. We're not going to be able to do this by ourselves. I need my army upgraded by Jesus. I need a Jesus army. And then, did the Jesus army help in the fight, Jared? Or did they show up at the end after the fight was over as a Deus Ex Machina?
Well, but it was after there was a
Jared, they did a double Ex Machina. They did a double Ex Machina in this show for some reason. They said, each side has 2 armies. We're going to join together. So each side has 4 armies. There's 4 armies fighting together, but it has 2. And they had the first 2 armies fight each other. And when Noxus won the fight without the help of the people they said they needed the help of.
Yep.
They completely just they won the fight without even.
I don't think they necessarily won that. It didn't seem like they won that fight.
They won the fight until Zahn showed up.
Right. Exactly.
And then Zahn won the fight until Jesus showed up. And you're like...
Yes. And then Jesus won the fight until...
What is going on?
Echo showed up, right? Yeah. Yeah. It
also,
was a complete mess.
For how, neck-breakingly rushed this last shoehorned finale in felt completely disconnected from the season, right? They could have maybe worked it in a little bit better if they hadn't spent an entire episode in the multiverse.
That was interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Although when episode 7 opened, I was pissed.
I will say though that episode with Echo was probably
It was a good episode
episode
that
of the
does not belong in this TV show.
and also
That's the thing.
didn't he
That
already
was
have his
that
little
was
machine from season 1. So
no. That's what was so frustrating, David. Is I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the Echo episode. It was really good, and it does not belong in this show. The finale is an awful finale for Arcane. I liked it though. It was really cool. It just made no freaking sense.
There were some plot holes. I will definitely give you that.
another part I didn't like too is they rehashed the story, the redemption part with Warwick, right? They're like, oh, he's dead again. Oh, well, maybe he'll be okay now. Oh no, he's a monster. Okay, now I guess Jink is gonna have to sacrifice herself heroically, and I'm gonna lose a sister now because I couldn't on my dad. It's like
I really loved episode 6 because I freaking love Warwick.
But it's the same. They did it in episode 6, so why do it again in episode 9?
Because
it's the same thing. They rehashed like giving up on your family.
Jinx literally had to be like, "Look, we've done this already. It didn't work. Give up on it." Right. And that's what that's why I liked it, because it was a deeper level of this emotional building, right? Like it wasn't just like, oh yeah, okay, like they missed their dad and they want to reunite, but it's like, and going back to the multiverse episode, she specifically mentions and says, oh well, that's not right because Vi wasn't, like, she was afraid. Like it's not that Vi wasn't ever afraid; it's that Vi was afraid of losing me. Vi was afraid, like she would do anything for her family. So it's like it for me. It like strengthened that point where Vi is trying to do anything she can, even if it's not going to work. And Jinx is like, no, we're not doing this again. And that's why when that happened, I was like, that's actually really powerful.
Yeah, it was powerful, except for they already did it in episode 6. It was the same thing with Jinx,
and it was better in episode 6.
The first 3 arcs, the first 3 episodes in the first arc of this season, it was Jinx and Vi, right? And the whole thing was like, okay, she's my family, but Jinx has got to go, right? She did the 9/11. She's a terrorist. She needs to.
She did 9/11, dude. We just gloss over the fact that Jinx did 9/11, man.
And the next 3 episodes, they're like, oh, Jinx is going to be nice again because Daddy's still alive. And then they did the same arc, but with the dad. And like, oh, he's still alive. We got to help him. He's a monster. And then, but he kind of dies, and they just forget about him and move on. And then he shows up again over here, and you're like, yeah, he's completely like, there's no semblance of him being in there at all whatsoever through the whole battle. They don't try anything, right? Like you can see he's clearly gone. And then at the very end, for some reason, they decide, oh, well, maybe I can save him again. Like, you already did that. What are you doing that for? It was the same thing. Jinx and what's his name, Warwick, the same thing, the same plot over and over again. I was like,
yes,
come on.
I'll give you that it does seem repetitive, but I think that's also why it added to the depth of that scene, is because she's literally was like, hey, I am trying, like this seemed to have worked before, right? Like that's why I thought it didn't. I was okay with that, because she had seen that before when she tried to reach out to him. They were able to connect to that little piece of him that was still in there,
and they clearly saw,
and then they saw that it didn't work
when he went all magma, and now he's completely magma and then possessed by this other thing. Like
the other thing I didn't like,
you already accepted the fact that he's gone. He's not your father anymore.
Look,
but that is Vi's character. She's never going to give up on him, and so
I don't care.
I agree.
That was the whole thing with the first 3 episodes. She had given up on Jinx, but then for some reason flipped it around again. Like they're completely inconsistent, and it's pissing me off.
Look, in spite of its storytelling inconsistencies, I absolutely loved what you guys pointed out. I loved episode 6 because not only did it give me Warwick, it gave me Firefang Warwick, his best skin. Okay, and I was so pumped. And then this episode, instead of, like the whole thing is Victor has been corrupted by Hextech, right? He's been corrupted by the arcane. And maybe when his mind was in this other field, it got possessed by evil spirits, which would have been way more interesting. Instead of... For some reason, he turned Warwick into a robot instead of like old god Warwick, which would have been way better. There is no Hextech Warwick skin. Doesn't exist. There's no robot Warwick. Maybe they're going to introduce one.
There is now.
There is now.
No, I mean,
I was pissed that they didn't go with like possessed Warwick, right? And I really didn't like robot Warwick, and I hated Victor's design. He was like this. I hated final stage of Victor.
The mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't look anything like Game Victor, right? He's supposed to be like a cyborg. And in this, he was like, I don't even know. I really did not like the Victor's design.
Yeah.
And I don't mind where it ended up with him being this, trying to become God and trying to take away free will and trying to solve all these problems, and then not realizing, the fact that we have, the only way to eliminate all problems is to eliminate all life. Yeah. I really love that story because it's true. Even when you're trying to be woke, you can't help but you can't help but get a little conservative when you're storytelling because it's freaking true. Okay? Okay? If you take away free will, it doesn't freaking work.
Yeah, I love
communism. So I love the story that they told in the ending. It's just it didn't belong to this show. And what would have been way more interesting is a Victor who, in the attempts to save his life, he loses half of his mind, to an evil spirit in the arcane. Like they were saying, it was the arcane aspect that was evil, not the technology, right?
Yeah.
But it was robots. It was technology that was bad for some reason. And it would have been much more interesting to see a Victor come back who's like lost his mind to an evil spirit. And that's why he's evil, and he's slowly, fighting. Like, it would have just been so much more interesting if this season had less stakes. If it wasn't this world-ending thing, which you could do in a season 3 or 4 or 5, if the stakes were so much smaller, I would have enjoyed the story more. I would have been more invested. It would have made more sense for Victor to slowly become possessed by spirits and then slowly turn and, now I want to become a god. But it just was like, Victor was like the best character in season 1, and now he wants to be a god and take away free will. It's just that there was just no, for how good season 1's character development was, this season was such a letdown.
Yeah, I agree.
Things happened with a flip of a coin, just overnight. People just changing. Jace flip-flopped like 6 times. And he didn't really... And Jace was the most passionate about Hextech, and then all of a sudden, for no reason that the audience can tell, he is against it. Just because he saw a ball.
Yeah,
I
think that was the reason. I think it's the editing in that particular case that was... Yeah, it wasn't very good. I think that happened in what was it, season or episode 6 or 5 or whatever, where he shoots Arcane Jesus with this thing. I think that happens after his trip to wherever the heck.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Yeah, it's so confusing.
Episode 8 is his journey in the alternate reality.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, wait, what? When? Again, I was asking myself, when is this?
Yeah, it was out of order. It was out.
It was completely out of order.
The whole system is out of order.
You are out of
I'm out of order. You're out of order.
I believe that whole trip through the multiverse alternate future thing happens before, at the same time that the Echo stuff is happening, and then he gets sent back and he shoots Arcane Jesus with the hammer, and then and then the finale happens, right? But it's out of order. It shows that other part first, And then it's really weird because the last thing you see, he comes back out of this anomaly, shoots Arcane Jesus, and then all of a sudden he's in this future thing. I'm like, what?
It was really confusing. I honestly didn't put the pieces together until you said it just now that happened before.
Exactly.
Yeah, that happened before.
Exactly. And it makes no sense the way they edited it.
But here's the thing: the reason why I didn't get it. We haven't gone over Dune yet. Jared didn't watch it, so we're saving it for the end. The reason I didn't get it is because there were so many other moments that were just as confusing. Take episode 9 with the Black Rose
which I
witches.
still thought is the most interesting part.
I still have no idea what happened in the finale between Mel and her mother.
Yeah.
I don't understand what they were trying to do. They were having this fight, and the whole point of the fight was for Caitlin to get the magic protection runes off of her mom's arm so that she could use the other the Black Rose witch could come in and attack her. Then the second that she does that, Mel comes in and says, "No, I don't want you to do the thing that I just barely told you to do." And then she says, "I see your face, deceiver." And then she says, "Clever girl." And then she breaks out of the spell, and then her mom dies anyway. I have no idea what happened.
With that particular thing, I was definitely confused, but I think the way that I kind of pieced it together was I think that it has more to do with like the Black Rose has corrupted her mom, Mel's mom.
No,
right? So,
she had the magic protection.
No. Before, like way before. Like the Black Rose was part of Mel's mom's like history. Like the Black Rose had become integrated and had possessed her mom.
That was not clear if that's what it is. I have no idea what it was.
I know it wasn't very clear, but that was like the thing that I was kind of wondering too. Is like, is that why that was so significant? Because at the end, then Mel saying something like, "Hey, I see you now, the deceiver." He breaks those chains that was like holding her mom prisoner, and essentially releases her from that captivity.
But it didn't make any sense. Like what? So it was trying to. So I'm so confused. Yeah. I don't know what the like that. Maybe what you're saying is maybe that the reason why her mom was so crazy is because she was being controlled.
That's kind of what I was wondering. Yeah.
Well,
then why on earth would the Black Rose lady come in and help Mel?
Yeah, I don't know.
Your explanation
I read it was that her
wouldn't make any sense.
No,
her brother was
her.
Yeah.
Right? So she's trying to corrupt her, right? So she's
what did they want? What did they want? They were also trying to stop the end of the world. Apparently, they said so. They said there's a calamity coming. We have to stop it.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, that part.
That was in episode 8.
To me, I didn't think that that Mel or whatever had anything to do with the Black Rose witch lady. I thought it was that her brother had fallen to or succumbed to the power of the witches or something like that, and that's how he died. But it didn't really answer that either.
I've got no freaking clue.
Yeah, but
it was so confusing.
It said that the brother's fate was because of her mom's secret.
Right. Which
none of it made any sense or was remotely explained.
I agree. Yeah. I am lost with that for sure.
Yeah. I did like it. The visuals were stunning, and I really like that character.
Black Rose Tico? No. That's not it. Justin.
Star Wars crossover. Yeah. But yeah, it was beautiful. I really
that's the thing. That's what's so frustrating is that like I didn't hate it. Like I actually really love the whole free will battle at the end.
Yeah.
But it does not belong.
This whole conflict
to the
should
show.
have been the Civil War clashing each other, and then the finale is, this supernatural force has gathered a whole bunch of this undefeatable army, and they're encroaching upon our lands, and we need to band together.
It was so rushed.
Stinger for
It was so, and just like I want to go back and watch season 1, and it's gonna make this season look even worse. Just like how well they handled the character growth in season 1 and what they promised. This season is baffling to me.
Yeah.
It has its faults.
Yeah.
I still really liked it. I agree though. I think the speed probably could have been adjusted and maybe drawn the story out a little bit more.
Also,
I enjoyed myself watching. It was visually stunning.
David really enjoyed the prison sex.
You had to bring that up.
Awkward.
Come on, it was gross. It was really gross.
Season 1. Yeah, that was way too much.
And the pedophile kid character was a traitor, apparently.
Yeah.
Sorry, she wasn't. She was the victim of pedophilia, and so it would make sense that she would want to kill Caitlin. So
there you go. I freaking hated Caitlin this whole season. She was just.
Although they did give her an eye patch, and that was a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, she was awful.
Mark, don't put words in my mouth again. No. For the most part, those scenes excluded, it was still a fun watch. Animation was beautiful, the music was great, but I don't think the story came together this season. It was just a convoluted mess, too many things trying to shove it into the same pie, and it doesn't work. So.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Such a bizarre season.
I'll probably still watch season 3, but
there is no season 3.
Are they going to do other spin-off shows?
Yes.
Right.
They're going to do spin-off shows. There is no Arcane season 3.
Right.
I see. Okay. So now it'll be like Jace's time, Jace's show, and like
Jace is dead. Okay.
Well, Jace isn't dead.
Yeah, he is.
No, he might be. You're right.
He's gone. They did Heimerdinger so dirty in this show. Like, his whole character is supposed to be he's like this crazy wacko crazy inventor that uses turrets and machine guns to kill people. Like, he uses technology to kill people, and this entire show was just him saying, "No, science is dangerous," and then he dies.
Although his guitar thing was pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Right. And had nothing to do with Heimerdinger as a character. Right. I don't know why Heimerdinger was playing guitar.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't have the nostalgia for the character, but I liked him in season 1, so he was definitely underutilized. And did he not get transported back with the thing?
Didn't show him
get vaporized in the
Jace
transition? No, Heimerdinger.
Yeah, he died.
He died. He just kind of disappeared.
He exploded.
Okay.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Oh, also, it didn't explain why when Echo turned up the thing to 11 when he's supposed to only go to 4 seconds or whatever, why nobody exploded in that.
Well,
thing.
It was
it
like,
just worked because
I think he was just a last ditch effort, and if it exploded, it would have been robots that exploded. We didn't get enough Echo time, 4-second time travel. We got the one good scene with Jinx just trying to kill herself over and over again, which I really liked.
That was good.
I really liked that scene.
Yep.
But I wanted more of Echo for sure. And he just showed up for like literally 1 second in the last fight scene, immediately screwed it up. And it was fun to see him keep, he got so trapped that he
couldn't rewind.
That he couldn't rewind further. That was fun. And Yeah, and then it turned into Legend of Korra Season 2 Space Kaiju Spirit Battle. Which was surprisingly good, just didn't work for the show.
Yeah.
So, The Boys is good. I thought they already announced that this next season was the last one. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Probably. I don't.
Finally filming the last season.
I don't care. So, bing, 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 bing.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys go and talk about Dune then.
Right.
I really, really wanted to love this, and let down. So, Dune Prophecy Star was initially suspicious of feminist spin-off because the book was written by a bloke in the 60s. And there are some elements that are very based in the patriarchy. Can we just stop this, please?
Yeah.
Can we just shut up and act?
Yeah.
Like, it's just
especially
so
the
exhausting.
The premise of this whole thing is it's a group of female-only witch coven people, right?
Who fail. Who completely fail because of feminism, by the way. Like,
kind of like how Wheel of Time is supposed to go, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Supposed to. Literally, the books are the books are hilarious. It's like, hey, you think feminism is so great? I'm going to give you a world where you got it. You literally got feminism. Everything's a matriarchy, and the women are all in charge. And guess what? It sucks just as bad. Yep. Because sex isn't. It's not about sex. It's about power. Power corrupts, and the people who have it usually do bad things. And even if women were in charge, it would still freaking suck. Okay, and it turns out you need men and women working together to beat Satan. And the Wheel of Time books are freaking awesome. And
they are. At least the first half of them that I've read.
You like the movies, part 1 and 2, mainly for the Paul stuff. The changes absolutely made it worse. The changes to Chani specifically are antithetical to the book.
Yeah, I did not like Chani in the second Dune. And I haven't read the source material, but...
Here's the thing. I didn't hate Dune Prophecy.
Yeah, it's
kind of liked it.
Good.
And Jared needs to leave now. But the whole point is, we'll get into this article more though. I can't tell if it's the actress or the author of this article that's making this headline so bad.
Gotcha.
It kind of feels like it's the author. Huh. Like they set her up with a loaded question, you know? But I don't really want to read it. I just don't care about any of this.
Yeah. Is she talking specifically about the Dune prophecy?
Just like the Dune,
or just the Dune in general?
Dune in general, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is, their society.
Because a coven of witches will always fail. Because women hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, episode 1 was good.
Okay. Here's the thing about Dune Prophecy, just in general, before we get into specifics.
Have you
I've read 5 of the Dune books. I have 1 left. I have not read Chapter House Dune yet. And those are all of the books written by Frank Herbert.
Right.
Now, his son also did a whole bunch of Dune books, and a lot of people hate them. Most people hate them. Apparently a lot of people also like them, though, because he kept making them. kept making him money.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. Dune Prophecy is a prequel, which Frank Herbert never wrote about. His son, Brian Herbert, did write a Dune prequel about the Sisterhood. I believe it's called Sisterhood of Dune, or Dune, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. That goes over the history of the Bene Gesserit. The point of the story is, I don't know if the show is breaking canon.
And also, what does that mean to break canon?
I don't really
Frank
care
Herbert's
if it
canon? Or?
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If it's breaking Brian Herbert, I don't care. And it's so far back in the past, it's hard for me to tell if it's breaking future Dune canon.
Right.
Because even though I've read 5 books, they're very confusing.
You don't say.
And much in the future. So, like, it was very smart, I think, of the show writers to choose this to do, because if they break canon, no one's, unless they like specifically contradict stuff from the books. Most normies like me, and I'm above normies because I've read the books, right?
I'm normie.
I'm not even going to be able to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a smart move. I will say that I'm a little bit confused about how this is apparently 10,000 years previous to Paul Atreides being born. But they're still broken up into the same houses, and they specifically mention Atreides and Harkonnen.
Yeah. So this is
10,000 years.
Yes.
That's insane.
No, it's not. It makes sense. It's like they're almost like religions, you know. But
it's not, though. It's a bloodline.
Yeah, but they're so powerful. It's a very big bloodline. It's like an entire planet. You know, like it's the Harkonnens.
Okay.
It's almost the equivalent of like a race of people.
Okay, that's not how it comes across in Dune 1 and 2.
It's not quite that extreme, but similar.
Yeah.
So. Okay, sorry. There's a whole bunch of. Wow. Okay, I gotta go way back. Sister. Harkonnen stuff was mostly good. I didn't like how they made them appear like retards instead of rivals to Paul. In the movies. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I read the books they're using for the show, and it's close to it. The Harkonnens took a while to regain their power and weren't as evil to start. Yeah. So I know that the Atreides were instrumental in the Butlerian Jihad. And I really liked the little tiny glimpse that we got to see of the Machine War. That was fun.
Right. The other thing, too, which I was confused at first, but it makes sense with this whole post-apocalyptic, shunning of technology, is that, again, the technology is relatively the same 10,000 years later in the main...
Because they're not allowed to iterate. Yeah.
But yeah, that makes perfect sense if they shun the technology because of the robot.
This is like pretty fresh after the Butlerian Jihad.
Yeah. So that does make sense. But it was something when it first started, I was like,
same.
What's going on?
Same, Mark. It's kind of so removed that it was smart of them to choose this to do. Yeah. Does the prequel expand the Spacing Guild? I don't know if you're talking about the book or the show. I really, really hope they get into the Spacing Guild in this show, because that's one of the huge flaws of the movies, is that there wasn't enough time to get into the Spacing Guild, and they're really freaking important for the next movie.
Talking specifically about how spice funds light travel.
The Spacing Guild and the Bene Tleilax, like we need to know about them for this next book specifically. I keep trying to teach you my method of reading books. No. The books do tell the origins of the guild, in the show. And the future books, I really liked Heretics of Dune. Heretics of Dune get into some really, really cool stuff with the Bene Lilacs. In the show, yes. Okay. So, not yet. They don't allow much innovations, yes. So you can have computers, you can't have thinking machines.
Right. Autonomous robots.
Which is why they have mentats. Humans became computers. We evolved into our mentats, and then we did shoot, I just had a brain fart. Genetics.
Right.
What did Hitler do? What's the word for it? You know what I'm saying, right?
Eugenics, yeah.
Eugenics. Yeah,
right.
Why did man? It's been a long day. They do a eugenics.
Yes. Thanks, Mark Clark.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was kind of shocking in the show to see the kid pull out a lizard, with a sentient AI and not have repercussions for that. Like, I feel like he should have been executed on the spot for that kind of transgression.
Yeah.
And especially 1,000 years before the Dune books. Like, when it comes to the Dune books, you kind of realize, oh, hey, some of these people have been kind of working on some machines behind the scenes, maybe. But like directly coming out of the Balerian Jihad, that felt weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show, at least episode 1 so far, is mostly focused on the witches and getting a little bit into the political intrigue surrounding the emperor's family, and that marriage that was supposed to happen.
Was it really?
Then what? Well, no.
Was it? Oh no, because you didn't know the source material.
But there was supposed to be a marriage, and then it didn't happen because the best character in this TV show by far is that one guy, and I don't want to get it wrong because I got it wrong last time. Is it
Travis Fennel?
Is it
not Femmel? Travis Femmel. He's the Vikings raised by wolves guy.
Okay,
I checked.
It's not Charlie Hunnam.
No.
Okay,
I double checked. It is the guy, which I think.
And Charlie Hunnam is
better actor.
Is Sons of Anarchy and Rebel Moon.
Yes.
Right. And say this guy's name again.
Travis Fimmel.
Travis Fimmel is raised by wolves and Vikings.
And Dune Prophecy. Yeah.
It's the same guy.
Pretty much, yeah.
I cannot tell them apart.
Yeah.
His character's wonderful.
His
character is so good in the show.
Although I will say he kind of plays the exact same character.
And that's why I like it, baby. He's the same character from Raised by Wolves. Yeah. HBO, you brought him back. Now, bring back Mother and Father, please.
HBO's already brought back Father.
They did, I know. Apparently, Father made a video game. The actor, I can't remember his name. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. It's very hard to pronounce. He made a video game that's doing super well, and he's incredibly based on Twitter. And I love him even more. Huh. So
nice. But yeah, it was fun. I also I don't know if I liked the performance of the main lady yet. I'll have to see, but it was definitely interesting seeing her in a role. I mean, so different than Umbridge in Harry Potter, right?
Sorry,
Harry Potter, she was, happy and chipper and evil, but she played like this almost, legally blonde, ditzy person who was evil, under the surface. And it's interesting to see her in this role where she's more calm and manipulative and cunning, I guess you could say. So I don't know. Nothing really stood out about her performance.
Sorry, is she the main character? Which character is she?
She's the main Bene Gesserit lady. She's the director of everything. She's Professor Umbridge from. That's the right one, right? You should not tell lies. That's Umbridge, right? You didn't realize it was the same actress? Let me see. Emily Watson? Is that her?
Emily Watson. What?
Yeah. It's her, right? I'm not crazy. Let me see.
This is as mind-blowing to me as the whole Charlie Puth thing.
You're serious, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why isn't this showing the thing?
Hold on.
Maybe it's not.
Yeah, that's not the same person, dude.
Oh my goodness.
It's
my wife and I were both convinced.
Imelda Staunton is Dolores Umbridge. See, look, it happens to the best of us. I get Charlie Puth and this other guy confused with the same person, and you thought Dolores Umbridge was Emily Watson. See, I was thinking, okay, they do kind of look similar.
I thought it was the same actor.
They've got a similar bone structure for sure.
Easy.
Okay, and I know I just missed a whole bunch of chats, so because I was Googling. In the books, the Rachesi are almost destroyed because they pushed the rules so hard. Yeah, which is why it's weird that they were the ones that had a sentient lizard. I feel like they could have done 3 movies and shown a lot more and done more. Oh, for the Dune? Yeah. The worst part, that, aside from not giving us anything from the Spacing Guild is they left out the death of Paul and Chaney's kid, which is one of the most important part of the books. Right. It kind of worked without it here. It would have been better. That was my biggest letdown from the movies. But I understand it would have been hard to do it. If you had a 3rd movie, you could have done it. Get Brandon Sanderson to Kickstarter a new Raised by Wolves. Oh, man.
Not a bad idea.
Dream of it every day. Travis. I looked up.
Although I looked
Travis up.
Enough on his plate
I told you, he looks like, and I keep saying Charlie Puth. I know it's Charlie Hunnam, but it's funny to say Charlie Puth. Maybe with these shows they can fill in the gaps. Yes, for the other players. That's what I'm hoping for. And they can fill in yes, and the whole creating a religion on Arrakis as well. That's important too. Then it could have the same MCU problem for sure. Yes. Alan gets his wife confused with the neighborhood. No, I do not.
Okay, I'm not the only one that thinks these two.
And my sister. Oh, this is a different comic. Yeah, no. That I pulled it up. They look very similar. Here, look at this one right here, and then this one right here.
Yep.
It's a very, very similar.
Yeah. Crazy.
Anyway, point of the story was Dune Prophecy. Is Travis Fimmel is best character, best boy.
Yes.
Loved it. I love it. I love the conversation where he's like, "What'd you do, bro?" And he's like, I prayed to God that he would give me the strength to feel nothing."
Yeah.
Okay.
I climbed up out of the hole and
kind of weird, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Oh, not confusing my wife for my sister. But yes, Paul's sister's role being reduced also made sense for the time allotment. If they had a third movie, it could have worked. Also, man, how do you cast a little girl in that role? That's really, really hard to do. It didn't really work in the first adaptation super well.
Yeah.
It was weird. So yeah, that's hard to do.
I liked how they did it with her speaking from the womb.
Yeah, she's supposed to be born. She kills the Baron.
Yeah.
In the books.
Yeah, I like the changes. But
it would be creepy. It would be cool if they did it right. That's the thing. The creepiness would be awesome. It's just really hard to get a little girl to do that acting.
Right.
It would be really. You'd have to get. You know.
It's really hard.
You'd have to find a little, Leonardo DiCaprio, 4-year-old kid that could do it.
Yeah.
And that's tough. Yeah. I really want them to make Children of Dune. And I want them to make God Emperor of Dune as well. Can't wait. Come on, it's a giant worm. It's a lot of philosophy. You could add in some action. And there's an action scene at the very end, which is spicy. So, God Emperor could be so good. It could be so freaking good. I would watch the heck out of that movie. They should split God Emperor up into 3 movies. I would love it so much.
Oh, man.
Baby. But they also need to do Children of Dune. Children of Dune is fun. And there's a couple things you could skip in that book. There's one scene in particular that you could skip in that book. More Zendaya, please. Said you just now.
Yeah.
I read the comment on YouTube and now it's delayed and not popping up. Oh, yeah. I don't get it. I don't think she's ugly. I don't understand how she's famous.
Yeah.
And she's not that great of an actress.
Yep. Thought she was fine in the Spider-Man movies. She was fine in the first Dune, but she didn't do anything in the first Dune.
Paul, in Dune Messiah, Paul pulling up the histories of Hitler and Stalin is hilarious. They had weak numbers compared to him, yes.
Wow, that really happens in the books?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he does a jihad.
Yeah.
And so he's like pulling up historical records of great generals, and of course, Hitler comes up. Like, wow, yeah, he killed a lot of people. I killed a lot more. So I was laughing my head off. Sean Young in Dune. Who's that? Man, pulling these deep cuts that I just don't know. My brain stops working late at night. That's a woman. Oh, is that Chani in the original Dune? Yeah, okay, yeah. She's great. Got it. Duke. I'm not pulling that one up. Anyway. Yeah, there's a weird... So... Can I spoil a little bit of Dune Messiah for you?
Sure.
Okay, Paul has kids.
I'll get around to reading them eventually, but it's going to be a while.
Paul has kids, and because of a reason which I won't explain to you in the books in Dune Messiah, his 2 kids get born with genetic memory. So they grow up and they can see into their genealogy.
Their past, yeah.
And so the 2 twins, they will frequently act out scenes from the past together. like, oh, I'll play Romeo, you play Juliet. Obviously,
Yeah.
real stories. I'll play Caesar Augustus, and you can stab me in the, you can Caesar me, right? Like they go through, because they're trying to train their minds into becoming smart people, and so they frequently review their genetic history. And there is a part where they're playing their mom and their dad not physically, but in their minds, and they're like, this is a strange experience.
Huh.
They witness their conception, and
That's interesting.
you don't need to put that in the movie, okay?
Yeah, I'd say leave that out, please.
Yeah. It's a little bit weird because they're little kids.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Paul's sister that does that? I'm pretty sure the kids do it too. Frank was a weirdo, okay? Anyway. The politics are... Yeah, they all do it, yeah. But Alita sees herself as her own mother. Paul sees himself as his father as well.
So one thing I will say with Dune Prophecy is, of course, don't know the source material, and this is so far removed from everything current Dune, right? I have no idea who to root for. I don't know who the good guys are. I don't know.
Right, that is a problem. The Bene Gesserit kind of suck,
Right?
So,
and I kind of, that the director.
You can always root for the Atreides.
Have they showed up yet, though? Or they just name dropped them, I thought.
Yeah, no, it's Charlie Sheen.
Okay.
I don't know if he's a member of Atreides or if he just works for them, but he's cool. I'm rooting for him. I want him to kill everybody.
Yeah.
I want him to burn everybody to bits.
Yeah, I hate the not Dolores Umbridge person, right? Which you're supposed to. She straight up murders the other chick, which that was a really awesome scene, by the way, the cold open. And I hate the new hire slut lady that is going to be trained as the
new hire slut lady.
Yeah, the new witch that they're getting, the new princess.
Oh, the princess.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have led with princess, not new hire slut lady.
Yeah.
I mean, she did bang a guy on her wedding night, so.
Right. Well, it wasn't a wedding.
And shockingly, that scene was less gratuitous than the prison sex scene in Arcane.
Right? Yeah.
Jeez, David.
Am I wrong, though? I'm not wrong.
The new hire slut lady.
Yeah. That was the whole purpose of the first season. Like, oh, we're going to get this new witch lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The princess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The emperor's daughter. Or I think they said she's adopted.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who to root for either. Yeah, but it wasn't her husband. I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad.
And that wasn't their actual wedding night, was it? I thought it was just their engagement party.
I don't know. I don't know what it was. They ate pomegranates. I don't know if that meant they were married or not.
Yeah. I think they said that it was just their engagement party, and they weren't going to be officially married until after she gets done with her training.
You haven't gone past Lord of Chaos in Wheel of Time, right?
That's 5 or 6.
You haven't started A Crown of Swords?
I don't remember. I think I read Crown of Swords too.
Lord of Chaos is the one that ends with Demise Wells.
I think I read the next one too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. I think I read the first 6 books.
Lord of Chaos is the 6th book.
Oh. Maybe not. I don't know. I have to go back. It's been a while.
I was gonna make a joke that you won't get about marriage customs because you haven't gotten there yet, but you're close. You're really close. Sorry, I don't know if eating a pomegranate means you're married, but sometimes all you need to say is "she is my wife" 3 times, and that means you're married too. So, she was saving that title for after she was crowned. Her current name is Royal Empress New Hire Slowly. Oh boy! So the guy that she banged, he was an Atreides, and Charlie Puth works. No, not Charlie Puth. Sorry. Travis Scott works for the Atreides.
Okay.
What is his name?
Still don't like any of them except for
Travis Fimmel. Desmond. I can remember Desmond. That's a cool freaking name.
That's his character.
Desmond.
Travis Fimmel's
Desmond
name.
Hart. And Josh Houston. No, he's not an Atreides. It's saying he is some other. I don't know. They mentioned Atreides. I know it's not Travis Scott. It's Travis.
They name dropped him. I just didn't know if they showed up yet. Because I thought Travis Fimmel was in charge of the mining operations and.
Oh no! Yeah. Okay,
I
was looking at the wrong guy because there's 2 guys. There's the sister's brother, who's the Carino. What is their name?
Harkonnen.
Carino is the royal line, and the sword trainer is an Atreides. Yeah.
Right.
Travis, man. I don't remember anybody's names in this show.
Yeah.
We're going to need to work on that. But at least they named them, unlike in Arcane Season 2. Half of those characters that died. The one guy, the big dude who dies in the finale, they said his name 5 minutes before his character died.
Yeah.
For the first time in the show.
They try to make it out like it's a...
Also, I forgot to bring it up. He gets shot in the back of his neck. It doesn't make sense. Go watch it again.
With the arrow?
He gets shot from behind.
Really?
With an arrow in the back of his neck. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Weird. Anyway, Dune Prophecy. Didn't hate it. It wasn't super exciting until Travis shows up. But it's intriguing for sure. And the whole boiling people alive, a lot of people have pointed out it's very reminiscent to what the box makes you feel, right? From the movies. Like, obviously it doesn't do that physically, but it was the kind of that same imagery of like, my hand is just being put in a broiler. And similar, so we don't know. I think the prevailing theory is that Desmond Hart is somehow a precursor or an Elias to the God Emperor of Dune. Like a prophet of, hey, the God Emperor is coming and we must find the golden path, else all will be lost. I really want the God Emperor of Dune, dude.
Sounds like a trip.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Pain. There are actually Harkonnens after... They are actual Harkonnens. After the Butlerian Jihad, one of the Harkonnens betrayed humanity, and that led to the Baron. The other brother became emperor and changed the family name to Carino. I didn't know that the Carinos were Harkonnens. Interesting. Harkonnens suck. Well, Paul's also Harkonnen, so he does kind of suck.
And then the main lady that's not Umbridge is Harkonnen as well. So
yes. Well, the point is Paul Atreides is half Harkonnen.
Right.
Well, quarter Harkonnen. and he's half Atreides, quarter Harkonnen.
I thought his father was the Baron.
His Paul Atreides. His father is Duke Leto Atreides. His mother is a Harkonnen.
Right. His mother was the right.
His mommy, her dad is the Baron.
Right.
And they don't know that till later. It becomes really interesting in Dune Messiah. The Baron. Because of that whole thing I've been talking about profusely, the genetic memory.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Baron is part of their genes, David, what could possibly happen? It's fun. The books are so fun. You gotta read the books. Anyway, that's it. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Do you?
No. Well, this week we just have more Dune and more.
Okay, who is the hottest character in Dune Prophecy? Is it Princess Slut Lady?
Probably.
She's pretty cute.
Yeah.
I feel like if you want to make a feminist movie, though, you should have more hotties. That's just me.
Yep.
Wow, that voice was extra pervy. More Harkonnen than Elizabeth Warren. Love it. Love the comparison. You keep bringing it up, and it's perfect. Anyway, I think I'm excited for it. I'm kind of over Arcane. It's been painful. Man.
Yeah.
Silo is just fine. It's not horrible yet, and it's not fantastic yet, but it's pretty good. My wife's enjoying it a lot. I forced her to watch season 1 so we could watch season 2 together because I felt like it was a show she'd like, and she's enjoying it. What else? That's about it. Let me just double check the schedule. Are you planning on watching Gladiator?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I will. So, not super excited. Not going to watch Wicked.
Gotta save my money for Dragonsteel.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
Yep.
2 weeks of Dragonsteel. So, yeah, it'll be great. And then after Dragonsteel, we can play some Conan Exiles, and it'll be fun. I have it. I have the game. Justin, you were the one who was begging me for it, right? Turns out I owned the game. It was part of a Humble Bundle like 5 years ago that I just never cashed in the key for. And I'd offered it. I had offered it to several people but they already owned the game, so they didn't need it. So I still have it. Now I own it.
And I thought I had it, and I don't.
Yeah, it's just Wicked, and is this going to be Silo and Dune Prophecy till the end of the year, and then we get Severance and Doctor Who special and a Star Wars show that I'm not going to watch. So.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. We should probably put together some sort of Discord and see if people want to play with us. So, it'll be fun. And, sorry, I've been out of it. Yeah, next week's the 1st, and then Dragonsteel. Yeah, so only one more show before Dragonsteel. And then the 8th. Okay, cool beans. So I need to work really hard on videos this week because we're gonna have some fun stuff coming. Some more Devoid of Logics. I'll finally get those shows done, and
nice.
but I want to do some other content that's easier to make, so you can have more frequent stuff.
Yep.
Then I love doing Devoid of Logic. Love doing it. I think it's hilarious. I'm glad you guys like it. It's also a lot of work. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. And yeah, that's it. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, bye. It's been super fun.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining. So please consider joining Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.
I'd buy that for $1.